Fellow league members, we are gathered here today to lay to rest the 2025 fantasy season of Reed's team, Who's Your Daddy? A team that entered this league full of promise, 2 first-round picks, Dylan Edwards, Nick Singleton, Bryson Washington. And yet here we stand, 0-6, only regrets. The season started to show cracks before it even started, as Dylan Edwards had a nightmare game in Ireland with a fumble and an injury that set Reed's team on a bad path. Week after week, Reed's squad reached new lows. First, by losing to his old friend and roommate, an incompetent fantasy player, Ricky Coffey, followed by absolutely getting buried by Jason, the league's villain. By the end, the team he had bought the first-round pick from destroyed him with a 30-point beatdown. And now, even with a quick respite in Week 4 against the absolute no-show bye-team opponent of Spencer Smith, we know there's no hope. There will be no playoffs, no Cinderella run. Only trade offers that pluck any remaining value off of his team. We ask that you remember Reed's team not for the record, but for the hype that he had for it before the season started. His season is survived by the $35 he gave Jeremy Losak and the first-round pick he gave to me. Now, if anyone would like to say a few words to remember Reed's team by.
This game is fire. I am so done. Welcome back to Is This Thing On? The podcast that takes you inside the chaos, comedy, and glory of our league. I'm Reed Watson, and with me as always, my co-host Patrick Bales. Patrick, how do you feel?
Worse than the median. We got a great lineup this episode. First, we're going to talk to Josh about West Virginia's big win over Pitt and his first wins in the league. And then we're catching up with Peter and his blockbuster trade for Robert James and Jordan Tyson. Lastly, we're going to finally air the unedited conversation with Braden.
Is this thing on? Yeah. Probably not, but we're still here, giving it all we got. Fantasy football with zero fame. Too much effort for a made-up game. Is this thing on? Who knows? Who cares? Let's go!
All right, now we're going to bring on Peter to talk about his massive move for Robert Henry and Jordan Tyson, what that means for his roster and the rest of the league. Peter, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me again. I'm just waiting to get ambushed again at some point during this.
That is a very hurtful accusation.
I have no stones to throw. I got much nicer the last few weeks.
I emailed you your questions weeks in advance, like I always do, and you should be prepared for all of this. So, great start to the season, 5-1. Point totals are a little bit more of the middle of the pack because I think you're rough week 1 versus me. What made you pull the trigger on a win now trade this week?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I don't view it as a win now trade, although it is definitely a win now trade given those players. Sometimes I just like to make trades, and I drafted Wingo last year to trade him to Dylan at some point. So I just saw the opportunity, and I have gotten a little bit frustrated with Wingo and Nate Frazier in general of where they are and where they're going to be. I believe in Wingo's talent. Either Art's going to figure it out, or they'll have a quarterback next year that will give him the ball. And I think he could easily turn around this year. The Nate Frazier, there's just something off. I can't put my finger on. I'm not sure if it's fumbling. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'm happy to turn around some promising young talent that might never turn out into some actual proven guys.
I do have 2 Texas wide receivers on my bench waiting in the wings. Do you think he'd take them too?
Or is he only interested in good players at Texas?
Mosley is hurt. He's hurt. He'll come back.
He does have Livingston, so maybe it wouldn't surprise me.
Just fill out the full quarterback room, or the full wide receiver room.
Yeah, if I were him, I would turn some of those draft picks, or maybe Haynes King, and see if the guy with Arch wants to trade him as well. But then he would definitely need to change his name. His name of Arch is on this team, so we'll see how that one works.
I mean, very, very easy though. You could just add an N and an apostrophe and a T. Arch isn't on this team, and you're good.
Sure.
Do you think if Ryan Wingo ever plays with like a real quarterback that you'll regret this trade?
I think I think it's a fair trade. So I think there's a good chance. I mean, if either Henry or Tyson gets hurt this year, I look like a buffoon. So I think there's a good chance in a year that I'm regretting trading Wingo. But then again, I'll build my team through the waivers. I'm pretty confident in that.
So Robert Henry, kind of an interesting performance so far this year. So he's not quite an unknown commodity. He's been, a very active running back for UTSA the last 2 years. But this production from him this year is pretty much out of left field. Are you worried about any regression to the mean?
I'm sure there'll be somewhat, but I've also.
You don't think he's going to average 10 yards per carry the entire season?
No, but I had Robert Henry last year. If you're looking at my team, I'm slowly just accumulating guys that used to be on my team last year that I picked up through waivers and just getting them back this year.
Smart, because you won last year, right?
Yeah, I got real close last year. I'm loyal to my guys though, so I'm willing to sacrifice my newer guys for the older guys. I'm loyal to those ones.
Yeah, your loyalty definition's odd because if you had drafted, like if you were loyal to the original guys you had drafted, you would never have these new guys you're loyal to.
Well,
so it's the
fair.
middle guys. It's not your oldest guys and it's not your new ones. It's those ones you picked up in the middle that you're really diehard for.
Yeah, it's the Robert Henrys of the world.
Okay, so you did make a really great, I can't believe you said you didn't think of it as a win now trade because you traded 5 draft picks and 2 people with eligibility remaining for 2 studs who are definitely done after this year. I think Tyson's going to the draft. I think he'll be wide receiver 1 of the draft. He's a phenomenal player. What is your expectations for your team this year after this trade?
After this trade, I mean, get in the playoffs first and foremost. That's why I did it as early as I did. And then once again, the playoffs, I think it's a crapshoot. So I'd love to win the league, but if I'm even just in the semis, I consider that a huge win this year. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe over in Jay's year. You never know.
That's always a good aspiration. It's kind of an interesting moment because we played each other week 1. And if Nick Harbor touchdown doesn't get overturned, I think I beat you. And I probably changed the league median so that you're slightly below it. And you're 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you would have made the trade then as well? I think it probably still makes sense, but I'm just curious if being 5-1 added some urgency.
No, I think I make it either way. It's like I said, I drafted Wingo to trade him. So I don't think it changes that. And anyway, if I'm 3-3, then I know I either need to make a move or I need to tank. So I could go either way, but I was trading Wingo at some point this year anyway.
So Dylan's kind of a mysterious figure to me. He seems somewhat odd, and I actually have insider information that he was negotiating with someone else once he had put out that Robert James was on the block, and that person made a similar offer to in their opinion, it was better.
Did he tell you he was in that trade?
Jordan Tyson was in that trade.
Yeah, did he tell you Jaden Ott was also in that trade?
Was Jaden Ott a linchpin of the deal for?
He was one of the people in that trade.
He did not tell me that.
What team is Jordan Tyson, Jaden Ott on right now?
OU.
Right, but what team in the league is he on right now?
In the league.
Oh, yeah, he got cut.
Yeah.
He got cut this week. But I do want to say this. Here is the quote that Dylan sent back to this person in the trade negotiations. Jordan Tyson is the linchpin of my team. With no counter. And then, as you might imagine, that person was fairly frustrated to see that Jordan Tyson was actually very much available for a price.
You know what? For that person, as someone who deals with Dylan on a routine basis, I completely get his frustration with Dylan. There's no rhyme or reason to it sometimes, and I would be just as frustrated, if I'm being honest, especially if I'm the one who surfaced it to begin with.
Okay, I think that's fair. Reed, you had a little bit of a run-in with Dylan recently. Not quite in our mega or our fantasy Discord, but in our EA CFB Discord.
I think he agreed with me, despite not
with so much hate.
As soon as I said Arch wasn't good, he went from Arch is terrible to like defending him with his whole chest. Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of fandom.
Right. Like I can criticize my team, but how dare you? Yeah, absolutely.
Dylan has never put himself forward as a rational man. I'll put it that way.
I mean, I have fun. I hope that whenever I come calling later in the season to give him some of Texas assets, he answers the phone. Maybe I ruined it. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh no, Dylan, if he's talking to you, he's most likely trying to troll you. So it's all in good fun.
I'm going to just read some of Dylan's quotes in this conversation because I found them to be fascinating. This game is grosser than my ex. And then I feel like this is a bit ironic sitting this in a group chat. Let me be miserable in peace. Buddy, mute your notifications. Reed commented on Arch's high school opponents, and Dylan said he was a big man that grinds 2A Louisiana high school tape, which I really appreciated that comment. And then this was my favorite line was Arch looking like a dollar store Sam Ellinger, and I think Sam Ellinger should be offended by that. I think Arch was looking like a dollar store Chris Sims. Like it's really bad right now.
Yeah, he's in a bad place.
I think we got to get him on the pod. We got to get them to hash it out. There got to be peace. I think he's got to finally watch Textanic and figure out how to click YouTube links. We can teach him that. Do a little IT support. But Peter, I think it was a good trade. I really do. I think Reed and I have both won titles, and then from our perspective, go for it.
Yeah.
The whole idea of trying to build a dynasty that lasts every year, and you never go all in like Jay has done, ends up, and this is not meant to be a dig at Jay, but it's clearly going to go this way, being a silver medal strategy. You can podium doing that. I think Jason Maddox has a similar issue with that. You got to be okay being bad the next year to win a title in this league.
And also, everything's so speculative anyways. Like it can feel like you're giving away next year whenever you're not. I mean, Tyler's going to be up here somewhere. Like, just, you never know. So
yeah,
I think
I'm glad you brought Tyler up because I want to wrap up on one more thing. Tyler made a trade this week. 3rd round draft pick, which I consider to be valuable capital, for Eric McAllister, the senior receiver at TCU. Did y'all see that trade?
Yeah.
Tyler's 2-4. I think his roster is pretty bad. I didn't see the value here. What are y'all's opinions on this? Maybe this is just on me.
I do think Tyler is of the opinion. I think he's learned it like me that I mean, yes, 3rd round draft pick is valuable capital, but I think you hold that with loose hands and on some hopes and some prayers. He might see something that I don't. I thought it was odd too, but I also undervalued 3rd round draft picks, like, similarly.
Peter, any thoughts?
I like McAllister before the year, so I mean it's early enough where guys like that can easily bounce back, but he's definitely been disappointing. But I'm gonna hit it.
The thing that alarms me about McAllister so far, and maybe he has an injury or something, is the target volume is low. That's what I'm always looking at for receivers, and it's been 2 kind of FCS type opponents. First with or recently with Abilene Christian, and before that UNC. So he hasn't. Maybe they're going to save him for the real games. But until then, I don't know. I don't think he got a discounted price. Is maybe my concern with it.
Yeah,
Like,
I do think that there's been a heavy. It's been odd how teams have been treating some of their players in this non-conference round, and maybe I'm just projecting my own experiences. I feel like some of these guys come conference play and like regular conference play are going to start showing themselves like we hoped they would at the beginning of the season. So I think that's the thinking. Like, whenever he gets in the Big 12 play.
I'd agree with that. I mean, whoever's going to throw the ball enough around, I think it's going to work at some point, but could be wrong.
I do want to hit the fact that he has a running back named Bo Jackson on his team. I think that's sick. And he's actually looks like he's very good. He got to play in the Ohio blowout, had 9 carries for 109 yards. The game before that, he had 9 carries for 108 yards against Grambling. I think it would be really cool if there was another running back named Bo Jackson who won a Heisman, and then we'd have to be really specific and be like, oh, the Ohio State one, or the Bo Jackson went to Auburn. Ugh. Anyway, last thing I want to cover is, this is totally college football related, nothing to do with fantasy. Have you all heard that SMU is getting rid of Pony Up?
Shut up.
An official decree by the president. So there's a new SMU documentary coming out called Thunder On, the resurgence of the SMU Mustangs in the NIL era. And previewing that documentary, the president said, Pony Up has died a natural death.
And he just wants to move on.
He wants to move on. And he says, we're Mustangs, not ponies, even though our hand sign is pony ears. The most famous team was the Pony Express, and the mascot is a literal pony, and they have said will remain so. But he's trying to get rid of it.
There's no way how that goes through. That's crazy.
It's made me so mad. It's all I can think about.
I mean, to get rid of like Sick'em or War Eagle or Wreck'em or,
and
because Peter Hail Mary, whatever the hell you say.
Traditions fade, obviously, and like ebb and flow, and sometimes they don't apply. Like Notre Dame still taps the "Be a Champion Today" sign, even when they haven't been a champion for decades. And so, like, you honor a history,
sure,
even when it's not maybe as relevant to your current state. So I just don't get rid of putting up, like, again, Peter, obviously Notre Dame, not a champion, but you'd be upset if they got rid of the "Play Like a Champion Today" sign, right?
Sure.
Yeah, it'd be annoying. I touched
even
it last
though they
weekend.
Stole it from OU.
You touched it?
Yeah, last weekend, right before Notre Dame got their heart ripped out again, per usual.
Yeah. So anyway, I think college football is going in a good direction on a corporate level. I think the people at the top who are making the decisions across the board are nailing it. And I'm just really hopeful.
I don't know. A really rich guy from Texas Tech comes on my TV every week to tell me that it's dying.
Yeah, what is that?
It's not. They just want more money. They just want to be able to negotiate. That's crazy.
Have they considered selling first round picks to you? That could raise the money for the NCAA pretty quickly.
They want to create like a new NCAA that's modeled after the IOC Olympic Committee. I mean,
famously, the Olympic Committee has been functioning great forever, and no one has any beef with them. So,
and
good idea.
Famously, maybe one of the richest people in college football might have ulterior motives to make himself more money. I don't know. It's a really scary ad.
He's an interesting guy, though. He is probably a bad person, but also is a college football player. Was a college football player, and I think might genuinely have some interest.
Richest former college football star currently alive?
Jerry Jones is a former college football star.
Yeah.
I don't know who's ventured out of this too. Okay. Last thing I want to talk about with Peter's roster. I just think it's funny that he has Jackson Arnold, Thomas Castellanos, and Devin Dampier. And just thinking about how bad I would have felt about that quarterback situation a year ago and how good it looked like it's a strength of your roster right now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But I forgot I was on this for a minute. I was just kind of zoning out when I heard Pony Up and all. But yeah, no, the quarterbacks are great. I don't know. This is where I really wish we had two quarterback league. But yeah,
Are you pro 2 quarterback league?
Oh yeah, I'll always be with the amount of quarterbacks out
my
there.
dead body.
We won't be having.
I know. I'm not gonna push the issue, but I am pro it. But yeah, the quarterback situation could have worked better. Although Jackson Arnold has to turn back into a pumpkin at some point. He can't get away with this forever.
I mean, it's going to be this week. I mean, as I live and die, I hope. I mean, I've never cheered for OU. But
if he's good this week, though, then
if he's good this week, then he can.
Yeah, then I'm fully on board.
An unstoppable force, Jackson Arnold sucking versus a movable object, Brent Venables sucking.
Yeah.
And we're just going to see which one yields this week, and I'm excited. There is a scenario where they both suck, right? Like maybe Auburn's run game bowls over OU, but Jackson Arnold throws 3 picks. That's what I'm looking for. That's my prediction.
I don't know. Either way, I'm glad I have quarterbacks for a change and not relying on random guys like Malik Williams or that guy from UNLV last year.
All right, last item.
It's a better place.
Then I'm going to let you go. Jeremiah Love, what would you offer for him right now?
Jeremiah Love, probably not a lot.
Not a lot?
No.
What's your...
if you're looking to... It's a good question. I would give up someone like a kid in Durham or something like that for Love right now, but Love isn't someone that I love. That's funny enough. That I love to that degree because the way they run that backfield is they split out touches to a degree that I'm not sure it's worth that. You're not going to get the volume that you need typically.
Yeah,
you're just playing cool so Ricky doesn't call you.
Plus, I'm not sure what draft picks I have at this point. I'm not giving up my second. I need to have some draft capital for next year.
I disagree. At this point, I think you get to skip the draft. You get to come in and just hang out on the draft party. I think you should work on trading the rest of your picks.
It's an option. I don't think I'm going to do that, but it's an option.
Okay, well, if you think about it and you're wanting to pull the trigger on the rest of your picks, may I interest you in some of my players who aren't good?
Do you have any good tight ends that are actually wide receivers?
So funny you asked. I think RJ Maryland is listed as a starting slot for SMU, and that makes him my second best tight end who is listed or receiver who's listed at tight end on my roster. I started 3 tight ends in fantasy last week. I'm running 13 personnel. I don't think that people are typically doing that.
That's so gross, but so beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, we're running the damn ball.
Is that working?
I mean, not my running backs. No, it's not. I am fighting. Oh, I'm 2-1 against you, like the people in this league, and median has cut me all 3 weeks. So nice rule change, Peter. Really sucks.
Yeah, I'm glad I could ruin your day a little bit.
Need a win this week? Don't sweat it. Call Spencer Smith's Automatic Wins, the league's most reliable fantasy service. For years, Spencer has provided guaranteed results for struggling managers everywhere. Injuries, bye weeks, bad draft decisions? No problem. Just check the schedule. If you're playing Spencer, congratulations. You've already won. Just listen to the satisfied customer.
I almost gave up on my season, but then I saw Spencer on my schedule. Easiest win of my life.
Why roll the dice with tough opponents? Choose Spencer Smith, because sometimes the best strategy is picking the right battles.
And now we've got Josh Davis, first time on the pod. He's going to talk to us about a really awesome game that happened this week. He's from a little town called Morgantown. We're going to see how it feels. He's new to the league. See how it feels to get those first wins. Welcome to the pod, Josh.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Josh, you got your first win this week. I think with one of the highest scoring margins in league history, as you had, I believe it was 154-ish points, and your opponent had 0.
A big whopping 0. Yep.
Were you sweating that matchup as the week was going on?
I mean, I was concerned through the week that they would notice something was wrong and make an adjustment before Saturday.
And then was there any thought that there was a potential for you to go negative and lose to a team with 0 points? Like if maybe your defense went really bad, some fumbles happened?
Look, it's been a rough start to the season, so college football's weird, and in all reality, if I went negative, I would just chop it up to the sickos committee.
That's true. Honestly, that would have been an all-time sickos performance to lose to a team with an illegal lineup. But you didn't. You actually pulled off a great performance. Your first win against the median, you barely edged out the median. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, because some of you guys have superstar teams.
No one on this pod.
Some people in the league.
We don't, but yeah, we've heard that people can have good teams.
We can call this segment Median Warriors. We're fighting the median.
We are really getting fractional wins from everybody else because we're helping them beat the median. So I feel like I deserve credit whenever like you barely beat the median and I'm dragging it down. Like that's me helping you. So I feel like that's 0.1 wins to me. So looking at your roster, my first immediate thought is that I'm pissed off that in your first year in the league, I would absolutely trade rosters with you. How have you felt about your guys? Who are you excited about?
The wide receiver I have from San Jose State is one that I think will be really good for me in the long run. Really, I'm just kind of riding high behind it. I will say that I had a devastating loss on my waiver wire today, and someone sniped my West Virginia running back out from underneath me, and I'm just like heartbroken right now.
There is a very real factor in this league that if we know who you root for, people will overpay for those guys in anticipation of you overpaying for them later on. So, if I were you, I would start buying Pitt shirts and put Pitt flags in the background, change your team name to a Pitt Pine. And so then people will be really surprised whenever your roster ends up being full West Virginia guys. Because no one in this league is above extortion. Truly no one. I've seen every single person do it. But yeah, and then Jaheim White, is he out for the year?
Yeah, unfortunately, I shed a tear, but yes.
Damn, that is really tough.
How do you feel about West Virginia's? Like, obviously, you could go 1-11 at this point, and or 2-10, and you beat Pitt, so it's already in some ways successful. But how do you feel about your chances in the Big 12?
In all reality, what you said is exactly how West Virginia fans in general feel. If we win a bunch of league games, it's great. But beating Pitt and the way we beat Pitt earned a lot of goodwill for the fan base for Rich Rod after 9-13 over a decade ago and 2 decades ago. And yeah, right now it's house money.
Rich's comment after the game about I'm really worried about the Pitt's players. They were falling around all over the place. Just felt like a real speaking for the fans. I love whenever you dig in after the game.
Yeah, it was great. It was great for him to get on Pat McAfee and dig it even harder. And it's something that's got to get cleaned up in college football. Come on, man. But like you said, Pitt has to have just the best medical staff in the country.
Yeah.
They're all very good school.
Secured.
Do you feel like Rich Rod intentionally lost to Ohio to make the Pitt win even more embarrassing for Pitt, or do you think that was an accident along the way?
I think when you have 80 new players on a team, they're going to suck for a while.
Damning for Pitt that they lost to that team that I do think and this is no disrespect, I do think West Virginia sucks this year.
It's very well possible. I think we don't know.
Yeah, it is a wide
I feel
open.
like
It is
I
a
know.
wide open Big 12 for like 5 or 6 schools at this point.
Ask me on October 3rd.
October 3rd. Okay. Because if you lose at Kansas is kind of tough.
Right.
Home versus Utah. You should get at least what? You should go 1-2 in the next 3 weeks, or do you want 2-1?
If we go 2-1 in the next 3 weeks, then we have a chance with the back end of the schedule to make noise at the end, or at least ruin someone's season at the end.
Yeah. It's a tough place to play. Anyone that comes there is going to have a hard time, no matter where, what level they're at. So you have that going for you.
I'm imagining an 11-0 Texas Tech coming into West Virginia at night and losing their season there, because I don't know that the Big 12 will put 2 bids in this year. And so if Texas Tech loses that game and then loses the Big 12 championship, I think they would be out. So I think there is some real flashbacks to a game that did not happen in 2014 possibilities for that last game of the season. So I was looking at your roster, and I did look at that transaction. $42 for Ty Edwards does seem too high. I think even though you lost out on him, I don't think that's the price you wanted to pay. What would you feel comfortable saying what you bid?
The system wouldn't let me put in more than 30. I was prepared to put in 75.
$75?
Careful.
Jeez. The reason the system wouldn't let you put it is you have spent all of your claim budget by week 4. This is it. You are a free agent guy.
You realize
for the
it
rest of the year.
doesn't recoup.
Wait, it doesn't recruit every week?
No.
See, I told you, I got dragged into this, didn't know the rules, and I'm just winging it.
I'm
No,
so
it's
embarrassed that
100%
your team's
all.
better than mine. This is
So
a huge
70
bummer for
would
me.
have been 70 would have been a lot. Realizing that's
Makes 42 even
70%.
sound crazier. I thought it was like you got $100 every week.
No, it is $100, and that's it. That's why $42 is insane to me.
You can sleep in on Tuesday every Tuesday for the rest of the year. Congrats.
Yeah, truly a blessing. I find the waiver timing in this league to be one of the most frustrating aspects.
Yeah.
Especially early in the season when there's sometimes even a Monday game. So you have, and then you I don't like that part of the league. So you did get Danny Scudiera from San Jose State, and it seems to me like he has gotten a lot of those Nick Nash targets. He has played like a real $35 player. And so, I just want to credit you, Josh, for correctly identifying the San Jose State receiver who took over for Nick Nash. I feel like that's one of those season-defining picks where, like, if you picked the wrong San Jose State receiver, it could really crush your season. Whereas if you, like you, Josh, have the right one, it would be great. What do you think, Reed?
I think we should keep it about our guests. I drafted a San Jose State player in the first round that is not the guy that's getting the targets. That's what he's trying to do. So to include you in his style of hosting
Of jokes there. I would have never guessed because I'm literally still flying by the seat of my pants with this.
You have a great team. You actually probably can ride through without a lot of waiver wire pickups. It's pretty deep.
My hope is to make it to be the 10th in the league. That's my goal in season 1.
So this does bring up,
That's very
as an
attainable.
expansion team, I do want to open the floor. You got the commissioner here. Any questions about the operations of this league? Because it is weird as hell.
I think I like the wild and out style of just figuring out the rules when I break everything.
Sure.
Like spending all of my waiver wire budget in 3 weeks.
Yep.
So
And
there is a
playing
rule
team with an illegal roster. That's a weird. It's a weird
There's a
thing.
rule proposal I floated to the committee that got shut down, but I'm very interested in. I want to allow the trading of waiver budget. So when someone's like, hey, my season's done, I'm selling for next year, they could actually trade you, Josh. They could be like, hey, Josh, I'll give you $40 of my waiver budget remaining, and you give me a 4th round pick next year. And then you're kind of back in it. How do we feel about that rule proposal?
I could be down with that.
I mean, you specifically, I would imagine your situation right now would be very down with that.
You know, I think a lot of people underestimate a lot of players that they just leave on the back end, and I think a lot of my pickups have been on Thursdays.
True.
That have actually been good pickups that people just aren't looking at.
And then my last question for you, Josh. You came in as a Spanish team. You got kind of double the amount of picks. Did you feel like that was fair? Did you feel like you had a chance to compete in year one?
Verdict's still out on that. I have no idea. I didn't really know what I was picking when I started. Didn't realize that I picked up 0 true freshmen when I was making my roster. So I have nobody to throw into the minor slot. And I don't know, just trying to figure it out as I go. I mean, I had to cut a lot of people for game 1. So
frankly, Josh, I question your commitment when you didn't read the 35-page league constitution upon joining the league.
I had a grand total of like 12 hours to read that.
And I do know you went to West Virginia, so that is a big ask.
It is. It's reading isn't the strong suit.
There's not even any pictures. It's the worst part about the Constitution.
Yeah, I mean, why couldn't you guys like do some nice AI imaging for me on there?
Well, congrats on your first win. Congrats on West Virginia beating Pitt. I feel like I have what I need to know. Reed, do you get any other questions for Josh?
No, I really thank you for being on the pod. I have a soft spot for Morgantown. Love your guys' little public transit. It's real fun. That's the nicest thing I can say about it.
Y'all missed the most important question to ask me today.
Oh yeah.
And that's like, is my couch safe?
Right.
Yeah. Is your couch safe?
I mean, the one in DC is safe. The ones in Morgantown, I'm pretty sure they're still burning.
Okay,
Right.
This is actually a great last. How many couches have you personally been involved in burning?
I cannot confirm nor deny, but in 2014, I definitely had a couch fire sometime in mid-October for a game that allegedly did not exist.
Between the coal mines and the couch fires, I feel like the air quality index in Morgantown has to be the worst in the country.
You would think, but there's so many trees that they keep it clean.
Sure.
That's why they planted the trees.
Talk to me about where do all the couches come from? How often are they being burned? How many shitty couches are there in Morgantown? Is it just the surrounding area that's just dropping their couches? Like, how do you keep having couches to burn?
I don't know. It's kind of like magic. They just kind of appear. But 2 of my favorite facts about Morgantown is between 2005 and 2015, there were 3,600 couch fires within that time period in Morgantown, which equates to almost 1 per day. And it was so bad that in 2015, the local municipality made it illegal to have an upholstered piece of furniture on your front porch.
That'll stop it.
Yeah, surely it'd be inconvenient to move it from inside the house.
Yeah.
I have a conspiracy theory. That is why the university hired Neil Brown to stop the couch fires. By hiring Neil Brown, they put a stop to all couch fires for an 8-year period. Brilliant.
It actually is kind of true. And now they're back.
Dang. Rich Rod is truly a problem for furniture.
Menace to the environment.
Yeah, he's the furniture destroyer.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that is an object of fascination for Baylor fans, and I feel like fans across the country. Did you know you've played EA college football, right?
Yeah.
This is just a side effect. I played a dynasty as West Virginia, and it is the only dynasty like intro where every single time Kirk Herbstreit's like, "They've been drinking," is all he says. This is basically so literally you can go to any other game and he's just like, "Oh, you're in Georgia, the world's largest whatever," and then you go to West Virginia, he's like, "They've been preparing for this game all morning." And you're like, every fan base has their tradition captured, and the tradition that they captured from Morgantown was alcoholism.
Sounds like Morgantown.
This episode is brought to you by Nepo QB Enterprises, the official pipeline of disappointment for Texas football fans. At Nepo QB Enterprises, we specialize in taking 5-star recruits with famous last names and turning them into 1-star performances on Saturdays. Whether it's Chris Sims tossing a back-breaking interception or Arch Manning struggling to cover the spread against UTEP, you can count on us to keep your hopes high and your results low. All right, it's time for Who's This Guy? Today we're joined by Braden Keeter. Braden, welcome to the show. Let's get right into it. Who are you? Who do you root for? Maybe your second best team? And how'd you get involved in the league?
Yeah, thanks, boys. Yeah, happy to be a part of the league. So Braden Keeter, I'm from Dallas. I went to Auburn, so I know that that's going to irk a few people in the group and listening to the podcast. But I come in peace from last Friday. My second team, I grew up actually, I'm going to hate this. I grew up going to Baylor games. Actually, my grandmother, my mom, my aunt all went to Baylor. That's actually who I got to go to the game with on Friday. So it was really special. I took my 92-year-old grandmother to the game. Wow. So that was really cool for our schools to play each other. Although she was at the first game at Floyd Casey, last game at Floyd Casey, first game at the new stadium. But she did tell me while we were in the Baylor club on Friday night that she did hope Auburn won. So I was like, Mimi, hey, at 92 years old, you can't be changing allegiance. But I guess that's what grandmas do when they want their grandchildren to be happy. Another thing that the group will hate, that I was a Big 12 Texas A&M fan. I grew up an A&M fan through my uncle. Yep, Big 12.
Who are you?
Yeah, so I grew up in Dallas. My aunt.
You seem lab made to piss me off right now.
Yeah. And look, but I'll get back to it. So we my uncle married my aunt when I was in first grade. So I was very impressionable. Went to a Texas A&M game on Thanksgiving one year when I was in first grade. Really loved it. But I will say this: SEC, Texas A&M, and you can ask all my friends, my entire family. You can ask my wife because she went to A&M. There's nothing more in the world that I despise more than Texas A&M. Nothing. I am one of those shocking fans that if we lose to Alabama as an Auburn fan, sucks, but I'm used to it. It's been my entire time, the last 15 years, being an Auburn fan. If we lose to Texas A&M, don't talk to me for 3 or 4 weeks. It is the worst. I despise everything A&M. Except that is where my wife went. I love my wife. Going out on Northgate to the shop bar is fun. But other than that, everything about the communist the communist campus down there is no bueno. How'd I get in the league?
I hate A&M so much. Wild to describe them as communist.
So the campus is communist. He's absolutely right. Every building looks like a 1980s Soviet bloc. You literally cannot tell it apart from 1980s Moscow.
Yep.
That's crazy. That has been one of my complaints about College Station as a whole. That place is soulless.
Look, my brother and I went to go watch the Dallas Stars play with my mom last year. We went to in Helsinki, and while we were there, we took a ferry over to Estonia, which was a Soviet country, and we did a tour of all the Soviet buildings. My brother and I said, "This looks like A&M. This is College Station. It's crazy." But yeah, and then how I got in the league, I work with the former champion, Tyler Cox. He and I have been on a couple projects together at Accenture, and become good friends through talking sports, talking life, talking Premier League football. So good buddies with Tyler, and pulled me into the league. I actually think I was in this league like 4, 5, 6 years ago, and kind of crapped the bed, so got kicked out, and then he brought me back in as the 20th team this year. So Long intro,
Yeah.
but that's me. That's me.
Got it,
You
got
can
it.
relate to being a member who crapped out and then got brought back.
That is true. That is true.
Reed was a founding member that
I took a break
ultimately-
to find a wife and then came back once I had her. So,
Hey,
which is a good segue in the next segment. Do you have a significant other, and how do they feel about this league?
I do. Yeah, I have. I'm married to my wife Sarah. We've been together since high school, since senior year of high school, and this league. So yeah, she's fine with the league. I told her about the podcast and everything. I would say her only complaint was the 3.5 hour draft when she was trying to enjoy a nice evening together, and she was like, "How long is this going to take?" I was like, like a normal fantasy draft, 90 minutes, and I knew that wasn't true. It took 3.5 hours, and she was like, "What is going on?" And we're like, "We got to draft like 26 players basically, and there's 20 of us. It's like 400 picks we got to get through."
And
But,
she'd probably be pretty pissed to find out that we do those last rounds and still then most people have too many players and have to drop them.
Yeah, like last 5 rounds are typically totally unnecessary. It's just to not be with our families.
Yep.
Cool.
Just for a little bit of free time with the boys.
100%. We might make the draft 40 rounds next year. Just add to that.
I'll tell you what was fun about the draft though was just like, yeah, you did research going into it, but was really like in those final rounds, it was fun just to figure out, hey, so who are kind of the sleeper freshmen that aren't going to be good this year, but have some potential to be good in 2 years. That was fun.
All right. Yeah. No, I think that is it's a cool part with those minor spots for those players that you're dedicated to.
Okay, so now we're going to do a quick lightning round. Again, don't think too much about these answers, just give them real quick. Waiver wire or draft?
Draft.
Trade up or trade down?
Trade up.
Bigger villain, Tyler or Jason?
Tyler.
Hey, first Tyler.
Yeah. Prospects or vets?
Vets. Yeah.
NFL or college?
NFL.
Who did you vote for?
Oh, we're out of time. We're out of time. You don't need to answer that. You don't need to answer that. This is a nonpartisan endeavor. So, great. Patrick, you take it away.
Okay, Brayden, this is the part where you speak your piece in unedited, unfiltered 15 seconds to get your thoughts out or your shots in.
My thoughts out or my shots in. Baylor's going to be really bad at football this year because Auburn's really bad at football this year. I mean, that's all I think. I'm loving the demise of Alabama. I think they could be an 8-win team this year, which would really make me happy. And as long as Texas A&M never wins a national championship in my lifetime, I can die in peace.
And that's all the time we have for this episode of Is This Thing On? We'll be back next time with a recap of week 4. If you want to be a guest on the show or have any questions for us, feel free to reach out.
And now, I'm sure a really positive word from our bookie.
This week's parlay update is brought to you by medieval France in the form of a cinquain. Losers. 2 bets now wrecked. Like Enron, maybe worse. The Titanic without any rafts. Clemson.